in today's video, we are going to be making the matching hat for this Maurizio sweater. So for those of you guys who have seen the House of Gucci movie, Patrizia, played by Lady Gaga, wears this amazing fur hat in the movie, and I love it. It looks so cozy. She's wearing it while she's skiing, and she just looks super trendy and amazing as always. It doesn't help that it's Gaga anyway. So I wanted to recreate something that's similar. It's not quite as fuzzy as what she's wearing in the movie, but I think it's pretty close, and I love it. Introducing the Patrizia hat. Boom. So today I'm going to go over how to make this hat. It is very beginner friendly, so if you don't have a lot of knitting experience, it's totally fine. The only thing is working with fur can be a little bit tricky because it's hard to see your stitches, but if you're patient, it shouldn't take too long to make. I would say no more than 1 or 2 hours. So let's get started. For this project, you will need 100 meters of super bulky weight fur yarn. I'm using Lion Brand Gopher Faux, and each ball is 60 meters, so I'm using 2. In addition to this, you'll also need 50 meters of a worsted weight or Aran weight yarn in a similar color. And while this is optional, I do recommend it because when you hold all 3 of these yarns together, it provides additional stability to your final finished project, so it's less flimsy that way. But if you don't have it, it's not the end of the world, but I do recommend it. You'll need a pair of circular knitting needles. I am using 8mm or US 11. You'll need to use whatever to achieve gauge. You'll also need same size needles, but in double pointed format. You will need 5 stitch markers, 1 of them in a different color to mark the beginning of round. And finally, a pair of scissors. Let's get started. Did I look so fabulous? Anyway, so once you've knit garter stitch up until 6.5 inches, that is where you're going to stop and begin your decreases. So it might look a little bit high and it will be a little bit taller than your hat, but that's because some of this fabric at the top is going to be folded over and the increases are going to be worked inwards. And then at the end of your project, you're going to have a very flat base as opposed to most beanies where it's rounded at the top. So you're going to be knitting decreases throughout and then switching to double pointed needles when you need to. So let's do that now. Okay, so once you've reached 6.5 inches in height, you're going to begin placing markers and then decreasing afterwards. So you're going to be dividing your piece evenly. So what you're going to do is you're going to be purling 8, so P8. And then placing a marker. And then you're going to repeat that all the way around. Once you've placed your markers, you're going to use these markers as guides to when to decrease. So what you'll be doing is knitting 2 together, knit until your stitch marker, slip stitch marker. All the way until the beginning of round. So 1 round of decreases is now complete. So you can tell if you lay your hat flat up like this, that the decreases are starting to happen. So you can see that it's inching inwards to the center of the hat. So you're going to repeat the last round all the way until you have a total of 10 stitches left. Once you've reached the stage where there are only 10 stitches left, you're going to be knitting 2 together, removing your marker, knitting 2 together, removing your marker all the way around. Okay, so at this point you'll have 5 stitches left and the beginning of round marker. You are going to cut a tail, approximately, I would say 10 inches is good. And then you're going to thread your tail through the live stitches twice. So you're going to use a tapestry needle. So you're going to remove your marker, thread it through. I would recommend keeping your needles on the first time around, just because it's very hard to see, and you can use your needle to guide your way through. And your second and final time through, you're going to remove it off of the needle once you've thread through. And you're done. So now you're just gonna have to weave your ends in. I typically would just weave it a couple times through. Cut your yarn. Last step would be to weave in your cast on tail. And you're done. You have your hat. You can choose to block it if you want. I actually did not block mine, but if you want the crown to be rounder, then that's something that you can definitely do, but otherwise it's good to wear.